What's up, you guys? This is Robert at Nagy Pace Press on Twitter, Instagram. Give me the follow. Follow me here on YouTube. Hit the like. Do all the things. Comments. Let's get into it. The state of the Bears is 500. State of the Union, the end of the year press conference. Nagy and Pace is what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to show you a lot of how Nagy looked, because boy did he look uncomfortable. I watched this thing once and once half watched, and man, like, so bad, so good. Hope you enjoy watching Nagy squirming. We'll get into all the reasons why he's probably squirming a little bit later, but here's the format today. It's going to be a long video. Bears, we'll go over the Bears' point of view on this thing. I'll go over the Pace point of view, the Nagy point of view, and I'm going to go through the coaches that got fired, and then a quick bit on Trubisky if I remember. But let's get right to it. Let's do what Nagy Pace Press does. He does stuff so crispy that you love to see it. So anyway, number one, the Bears. So point of view from Teddy, the McCaskies, Virginia, everybody, Mike, everyone. Like, were they really going to fire these guys? Get out of here. I mean, I called this. A lot of people called this, to be honest. But, I mean, are the Bears like the people who are just the franchise who are just dying to get rid of people with a bunch of years left on their contract? No, they're not. Also, they were 8-8. They weren't 3-13. And you're talking about executive of the year and the coach of the year from a year ago. It's a bad look, and it's hard. And they obviously showed some promise in the first year, and they have a little bit of belief of the plan they put together a couple years ago. And they want to see it through. And they went 8-8. A lot of good teams that are perennial winners have an 8-8 once in a while. Things happen. And I don't know if this team's what's gonna happen in the future. I'm not predicting that everything's just gonna be okay magically. But I'm just saying what I'm saying. And they weren't terrible. And they played hard and finished off pretty strong. They didn't beat anybody good, but they'll be playing worse teams next year. So, a lot of things to think about. But, yeah, there's a lot of teams that fire their executives or their coaches every single year. They're called the Browns. Do you want to be the Browns? I think the Browns fired their coach again. I think they're looking for another executive now. The turnover. I think this team is just done with it. I think they kind of liked having Lovey around for so long. Maybe they even regret it. I think a lot of people regret Lovey not being here. And I was one of the people who were like, well, I mean, if you say it's time to go, it's time to go. I get it. We get so close, but we could never do it, and we can't find anybody to run any offense. I totally understood it. But maybe people miss like that. Just having the structure and the just the non-cluster F-ery of some of the other coaches that have been here in the past, like Fox and Trestman. Nagy held together. So, in my opinion, they showed some patience, because I know a lot of us would have fired both of these people. I'm not saying me. I know a lot of people are calling for a lot of heads. The press wants some meat. The fans want some meat. A lot of people want some fresh meat. Like I said earlier, said it in tweets, I said it in the show that I didn't think that these two were going to probably get fired, but they're going to throw some meat out to you, to the Wolves. The Wolves are got something. They got a couple firings. We'll talk about that later. But from the Bears' perspective, it's hard to just, boot these guys out of here. You're paying a lot of money. You had to pay Fox. You had to pay a lot of people off, and they're probably sick of paying. And one 500 year does not mean to fire everybody, probably in their opinion. And what do they know? Because honestly, what do they know? What have we won in the last 25 years? Nothing really. So yeah, it is what it is. I didn't think they get fired, and I'm kind of all right with it, but with some caveats like, look, some things need to change, and some people need to get better. Like, I've had bad periods of jobs or things that I've done in the past, and I was given the opportunity to get better, and I feel like a lot of people have in life. And Maybe you just had a kid and you're a little bit tired and your performance wasn't good, but you came back around. There's a lot of things, a lot of stuff that goes on. And, but second chances, all right. Third, fourth, I don't know about that. Shy Bears Plus doesn't endorse all that. So, all right. Number 2, let's talk about Pace. Look, dude, a lot of people do not like the way Pace talks, and they make fun of his voice and all that, and that he hides, and that you never see him, you never hear from him. And, dude, it's become clear to me that this is the alpha of this organization. He's smart. He's clearly the leader of this organization. Put this whole thing together. Probably the good vibes that you got last year, that all started with him. And he's really honestly out there trying to do it the right way, with the right people, with good people. And, it's not a clown show. It's not a clown show. It was only 8-8. It could have been a lot worse. I bet you if we had clown show people in here, that this thing could have spiraled out. So I give Pace a lot of credit. All right, dude. 8-8 does not get a GM fired. I mean, if you're going to say that this coach was bad, the coaching staff was terrible, the players were good, everybody's hurt, and then you fire the GM for going 8-8, well, something had to be good. The players on the field, who picked those guys? Pace. And Kevin White got hurt a lot, pretty busty, right? But even his busts aren't that bad. Trubisky is a starter. He's a starter in the league. He's not throwing 30 picks in a season like Jameis Winston. He's not Ryan Leaf. It's like there's been way worse busts. He's a guy that you could win with. Maybe not build around as of now. That could change. He still might end up being GOAT for all I know. I don't know. A lot of people are saying that he's not. But you can win with him. If you can win with Kirk Cousins, a guy who couldn't even beat a over 500 team, in Vikings are in the playoffs, beating teams. Goff, I don't think Goff's that special. There's guys you can win with. They have enough. There's enough there. And he's got a good attitude, which says a lot. And his guys play for him. And no one throws him under the bus. And there's a lot to be said for that. Floyd, solid player. Super solid player. Doesn't get home and get sacks. I don't personally think that they use Floyd enough. I think they should be bringing him off the edge, bringing him with 5 guys, the blitzer, moving around all over the place, using his speed and athleticism, just trying to run around and chase quarterbacks down. Some sort of you see how like the Honey Badger had a lot of freelance ability and stuff when we played against KC. Like I know that there's teams that use defensive players like that and spread them around. He's fast and he could probably shoot through some gaps and cause some havoc. But I don't know. Maybe he sucks. Maybe I'm just stupid. That could definitely be the case. Look, I'm not a scout. And also, I probably should have said this before. These are all my opinions, things that I think. I don't know anybody in NFL. I don't know anybody with the Bears. I don't know anything from anyone. Just a fan. Watch this press conference. See what happened this year. Try to give my opinions after watching all these guys talk. So even like your first round bust are still like starters on this team, except for Kevin White, who had a bunch of injuries. And you know what? This Bears team might even miss Kevin White and Bellamy from the way that those guys could block at wide receivers. There needs to be a lot better job of blocking by wide receivers if we want to run this Nagy program. And let's just be honest about it. So maybe there's been some honest, but out of all these people, I think Pace is the most competent. I think that he's really trying, and he's a guy who picked the highest, did everything he had to do to make sure that he got the highest rated quarterback when they were ready to make a change for quarterback. They took a transitional guy, Glennon, who ended up sucking, but what are you going to do? It's free agency, but they knew they were probably drafting a quarterback anyway, and he was just bridging the gap for a little bit, and they took, I made a video and put the proof out there before, if you want to go back and watch my videos of, numerous accounts that came out and said that, yeah, Trubisky is the highest rated quarterback, the best of the bunch, NFL.com, SI.com, like all these places and all these people who were calling out like what a bust and what was Ryan Pace doing are the same people who were saying draft Trubisky. So there's that. And the best coach on the market at the time was Nagy. Everyone said what a great hire it was. Everybody was all over him. The guy who called all the plays, he only called one bad game. Blah, 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 blah. He's an offensive genius. You want an offensive genius. You want to pair an offensive guy with your quarterback. Everything you wanted, the consensus, what everybody thought, he did and got those guys moved with conviction. I still like Pace, man. I mean, I don't care if we suck and we have to clean house to get a new coach and get a new quarterback. I'm still cool with Pace doing it because he's alpha. Dude, Pace is alpha, bro. Like, I don't care. He doesn't care what you think. He doesn't, and he moves with conviction. He doesn't bring in Delta Bravos. You know, the DBs are not on this team. So, and I really appreciate it not becoming a clown show. This not being a circus. It was 8-8, but it was respectable 8-8. It was an 8-8 that could have easily been 5-11. This could have won. I was calling for this in that 4-game winning streak. I'm like, look, this is when teams with high expectations don't play well, fall apart, and the S show happens. And it didn't. So, because probably he had good people in there that care and have some pride. So, that's where I'm at on Pace. He handled this press conference amazing. He's so good with questions. I can't believe he's not in front of microphones more. I really am so surprised. But he's probably out there doing his job, finding quality people to put on the field for you, the Bears fan. You're welcome. Thank you, Ryan Pace. I think he has the longest leash out of all these people because he doesn't have Antonio Brown come in for, you know, exercise activities and maybe signing him. There's just no jackals on this team. There was the Ray McDonald that happened. I think that was a big part of having experienced coaches really, really wanting a guy that thought they could take a run at it one time in his first year. All right, I'm done on Pace. Nagy. Bro, how uncomfortable does Nagy look? Like, he was jumping around his seat. I think there was things crawling on him. Like, I honestly, it was almost as bad as, oh man, who was the guy in the Jets who was their offensive coordinator? Killing me. Anyway, Gase, the Gase eyes. Those were pretty bad. But, I mean, dude, Nagy looked bad. He looked pretty bad. So, anyway, he looked really uncomfortable. At first, the first thing I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, this guy looks like he wants to pick a fight. He looks like he's ready for the questions, and he's ready to come at people, and he's fed up with being called out by the media. From a guy who was so easy peasy with the media all the time, not even worried, you know, just having some fun with them to the last couple of weeks, man, things got a little bit different. But so yeah, and then like I'm just gonna go through all the different things that I felt like he was feeling during this conference. And I'm not a professional mind reader or a body language reader, but just like, dude, and I try to put him on the screen for you as long as I can, as long as my editing works out, as I hope. So I'm doing this before obviously the editing, but hopefully you're taking a look at him and just going, whoa, like I am. But it looks like the blinders are off. And he's seen what people are saying going into this. And I think that he is not happy with some of the columns that have been wrote and putting squarely all the blame on him, even though I think a lot of the blame is on him, unfortunately. I think ego has gotten away from a winning season, unfortunately, for the Bears this year. But I think he just sees what people are saying. And I think that he looks like a dude that his boss and his company has let him know what people are saying. And they let him know what they think and what they think should have happened. I think there's a lot of things going on in Nagy's mind, man. Because, I mean, his skin's crawling, looking around, scratching. He never looks like this in press conferences, at the podium. I mean, he's been agitated the last couple of weeks down the home stretch here. But, you know, never like this. Never like this. So crazy, man. God. Like, he also looks like a dude who's had to fire a couple friends this week in the last couple of days, and probably right before this. And you know what? Probably words were had. I mean, he's fired up coming into this thing. This has to be an emotional time. I going into this press conference, I'm like, man, they had to have fired someone Sunday night or Monday. Like, they're not bringing everyone back. Like, when I found out that Nagy's going to be at the press conference and Pace are be doing the press conference, well, they're not going. Well, who's leaving? Someone's going to be held to account for this. So like, I'm like, they're not going to do it after the press conference. I thought they would do it and then answer questions about it. And then they ducked all the questions about firing people. Oh, God. Not a fan. I thought not cool. They totally ducked out of all the questions. But it is what it is. Like, at some point you'll be able to ask them questions. I'm sure that he'll get in front of someone again in July or something like, and it'll be in the past, and that's in the past. Well played. I'll say between Hipgate, Roquan Gate, the Bears are pretty good about like not talking about the things they don't want to talk about, and that's probably another reason why that Nagy is looking so uncomfortable, because there's all kind. He just had to fire a bunch of people, and it was pretty much on him, and he doesn't want to talk about it. And they said we're probably not going to talk about it or don't talk about it. So yeah, that's another Pace thing, is like this organization does not have loose lips, does not let things slip out. So I appreciate that, because if it was my company, that's how I'd want it to be too. No one needs to know our business, and they're good at it, and they somehow get all these guys to shut their mouth and just answer questions, say something without saying anything, and not like obvious like Fox. Oh God, he's the worst politician ever. Anyway, I also kind of got the vibe that he looks like he doesn't want to defend Mitch. There was like 3 of the worst squirms. Like, while Pace's answer a question about Mitch, we're like, Nagy doesn't want to defend Mitch in this press conference. I think that Nagy doesn't really want much to do with Mitch. I don't know. I don't know. And just like a vibe that I got off of that, like the negative body language when people just bring up Trubisky and Trubisky's play. Like, I was just like, whoa. Like, I felt like he was saying something without saying something. And I'm not a professional body language reader, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that relationship right there, because he looked like he did not want to talk about him, because I don't think he wanted to be honest about what he thinks, what's going on, which sucks, because I really want 10 to be great. I really wish it was the answer. It would make everything easy. If Pace is good, Nagy figures out what he has to do, whether it's not call plays, be the CEO or whatever, and Trubisky ends up being good. Like, that's the easiest thing, best case scenario. I wish it was, but I don't know. He's not giving me the body language that that's what's going on here. But anyway, yeah, I also wrote down, like, I think Nagy hates Brad Biggs. Brad Biggs asked a question, and he just gave him, like, the snake eyes. Like, you wouldn't even believe. He's, like, staring in, like, ugh. No, don't even say it, Brad. I know what you've been writing about me. Like, God. Oh, it was so crazy, the face he gave him. But, I mean, he was looking around the room just waiting for someone to say something. Like, scanning through. Who's answering the question? All right. Make sure you got eyes on him. But I just had to laugh at when Brad Biggs talked, like the look he gave him. But, yeah, he has been getting a little snippier since the losing streak. And I think he was ready for a fight today, man. I'll tell you. I honestly think that Pace wants a new quarterback. I just don't think the Bears and Pace are ready to do it right now. They're not willing to mortgage the future to sign a quarterback for $20 million, especially this free agent class. Like, I mean, Tannehill's probably going to get retained. Well, what makes Tannehill good? Well, they run the ball. So what's to say that you don't get a good power running game and you can't make Trubisky a little bit better? So, yeah, and Teddy Bridgewater, I'm sorry, like, he played pretty good on a really good team and played pretty good. But when Breeze got back, the Saints were the Saints again. So it's not like you're getting Breeze for $25 million or whatever he's going to sign for somebody to be their starter. So I don't want to spend that money on him. He wasn't that good before. And just like if you put Drew Brees on this team, we probably wouldn't be as good as Drew Brees on the Saints. It's a good team on there. It's a really good team down there. Anyway, I also got the feeling that, like, look, Nagy benched Mitch. And Pace wasn't having that. And that's just the vibe. Like, this press conference just confirms it for me that there was no Trubisky hip injury. Pace just wasn't having it. Like, here's what you got. You're not starting Chase. Like, figure it out. Figure it out with this guy. because this year, next year, it ain't happening. This was the plan. We're sticking to the plan. We're not just giving up on people. I think that's what happened. I think Pace is the boss. Pace is the, Nagy probably has a lot of say in a lot of other positions, but like not looking to start a 38-year-old guy with a sweet beard like me or whatever. I don't know how old he is. He might not be that old. But anyway, I think that Nagy's been told that he needs to figure out a way to win with Mitch no matter what next year. And good or bad, I don't know. And it is what it is. Will Mitch take the step? I don't know. But I think he's been told, and also that's another reason why Nagy might not like it, but he's here to put the spin on it, and he was not afraid to let people know that Mitch has trouble reading defenses, and a lot of people do. And you saw it in the KC game. There's that viral that Trubisky forced the ball to Wims down the middle against KC. Like, everyone was sharing it on Twitter when there was a couple other wide receivers, but they brought 11 people in the box. He looked like he had a shot. And then he had it looked like it was two high safeties. So at the least, they had to play catch up if they were bailing out in the cover two. And I don't know. I don't know if it was cover four. You can't see on these TV views and stuff. But I mean, he threw in a quadruple coverage, and there were some other people open. But yeah, I mean, they tricked him. And Nagy's like, dude, this guy's getting tricked. And we need to teach him how to read defenses better and how to predict these things to happen. So Nagy's pretty honest today about at least Mitch, and he didn't just totally sugarcoat everything, which happens a lot of the time. Next, firing everybody. Everyone that they fired today, we'll go through and give you the quick rundown. Helfrich, offensive coordinator. Look, someone had to go, and they're not getting rid of the last year's coach of the year and this year's executive of the year. They're in no position. They have no draft capital, really, to go up and get another quarterback, and maybe they don't even like a quarterback if they don't think they can get as high to do it. So someone's got to go. Someone's got to be held accountable. Sorry, Mark. I'm not an insider. I don't know if it was you or whoever or whatever, but I mean, it makes sense. If you're gonna do. I mean, if you are the offensive coordinator, I'll tell you what. Nagy did hold this team together, and you got to hand it to him for that. It's a miracle we went 8-8 after that 4-game losing streak. I think 3-5 in the first half, and he held it together. And through everything that went down with injuries, craziness that happened this year, he held it down. But I mean, did this offense look coordinated to you? It did not. So I don't know what the disconnect was or what's going on, but I mean, Trubisky not communicating with wide receivers correctly. They're running the wrong routes, wrong depth. Mitch is throwing it deep, and people are breaking off routes. Did it look coordinated to you? No. The line blocking the wrong dudes. Letting free runners go through. Not seeming to know their assignment. Mitch not playing well. Did it look coordinated to you? So, I get it. You know what? Maybe they didn't get along. Maybe there could be a million reasons, which I don't know what any of them are. Maybe Helfrich didn't like the direction this team was going to be going in. Maybe he doesn't like Mitch and doesn't want to be on this. Maybe he doesn't want to die on the Mitch hill. Maybe he doesn't want to die on this Nagy hill. Maybe he knows he's a better play caller than Nagy and wants more power. Maybe he thinks that he could have solved all this stuff. And maybe they fought about it. Maybe they're good friends, and maybe they just had to sacrifice somebody, and sorry, you're the guy. I hope you understand this is business, this is NFL or whatever, which is crazy, but it is what it is. I don't know why. I understand why he's gone. Look, everyone got their meat, their scrap of meat to look at and to eat. The Wolves got their meat, so there you go. Meat number 2, line coach, Heistad, and I get it, dude. I get this one too. To me, this was obvious. This is the most obvious firing to me of who was going to be fired off of this team. Free runners at the quarterback, unacceptable, up the middle, blocking with no rules. Someone comes up the middle, you block inside out. Inside out! You can't, there's no, the basic high school football rules that I remember. 2 guys are coming, you take the inside guy. They don't even do that. The simplest things that, I don't know. So anyway, I'm sure he's supposed to be coordinating the run blocking. And, dude, we have linemen that every time someone pulls, they either block no one or they block the wrong guy. And it's just like, come on. And he's obviously not coaching kind of technique. Like every time the ball snapped, everyone just stands straight up. No one's driving. Like maybe he didn't get along with maybe he had differences with Nagy and said, look, I'm a power running, more of an offensive line coach. Like you're asking me to coach you stuff that I don't really like or want to do or don't know how to coach. All this stretch run stuff or shotgun stretch, outside zone. Like maybe he does. I don't know what it is, but like you can't tell me like the offensive line got notably worse all the way across the line, with majority the same people there. So I see why he's gone. I totally get it. And some of it might not even be his fault in his defense, because I think that this line's built to move forward. I formation, ISO, power, get off the ball, smash him in the face like they blocked for Jordan Howard. I think that's what this team's built for. So in his defense, like, I get it, bro. I get it. Maybe he shouldn't be, but offensive line didn't play good, and someone had to go. You're gone. Sorry, is what it is. Maybe he's happy. Who knows? Who knows? Tight end coach Kevin Gilbride. I don't know. I have no clue, and I'm just being honest. Maybe he doesn't want to be here. Maybe he was a Helfrich guy. I don't know. Maybe he just like, oh, well, my OC's gone, and I'm going to go, find the next opportunity with my guy or something. I don't know how he got here. I don't know who he is. I know the tight ends have not been playing better, whether it be injury or whatnot. I mean, Burton probably not his fault, but Shaheen, this guy seems to have all the talent in the world, can't put it together. So maybe some of that comes on him. And, honestly, like I haven't been just staring down these tight ends because the ball's not going their way, and I don't have hours and hours and hours to go through the tape and pick through every single person. But, I mean, there's flashes here and there, but, we're down to 5, 6, 7 tight ends or whatever. Some of that's not his fault. Maybe some of it is. Maybe it is. Maybe they had better expectations for some of the talent they brought in. They thought they would make these guys better players, but a lot of different guys, and none of them are stepping up. So I guess I get it. I don't know. I mean, that's another piece of meat for you. Assistant special teams coach Brock Oliva, who? I don't know. What I thought about this move, I'm like, dude, I thought it was going to be Tabor. So, I'll tell you what, someone had to get fired on special teams. Miller returning kicks, messes up her shoulder again in the last game. Like, who said I want Miller? Send Miller back there for kicks. I know Pearson got hurt, but come on. The block punts don't help, I'll tell you that. No, they don't. Special teams, there's been lots of gas in special teams this year. But so if Tabor isn't in charge of teams and, punt and kick and all that stuff, and it's not his fault, and then you had to hire a kicking coach to coach Pinero because he's not a kicking coach. What exactly do you do, bruh? Like, what do you do? What are you doing on this team? I know 2 years people have been calling for the head of this guy, and I don't know. Maybe he's got Nagy's nudes or something. Like, he's got off again, it looks like. He's got off. So anyway, let's wrap this thing up. Now what? I don't know. I obviously got to hire an offensive coordinator. If I were the Bears, which I think they're going to say, hey, do whatever you can win with Trubisky. If he's not getting better, you can't figure it out, we'll cut him next year after 4 years and be done with him. And we're either starting with a new coach or a new quarterback or both. But you guys have 1 year to figure it out, but you need to take pressure off of them. Here's what we think. So I think to be a run game, play action minded kind of a guy. I think Shermer could be that guy. Who knows? I don't know everybody else that Nagy knows. It's probably going to be someone that he's comfortable working with. And I don't know who's going to want to take this job. Almost feels a little lame ducky. But we'll see. I'm assuming run-minded guy, play action, who's going to try to help, maybe a play caller. If Nagy will even give it up, I don't know. So yeah, Mitch has a year to get better, or he's probably done, just by body language of what I think Nagy feels about him. And Pace has a poker face. Pace, put a good spin on everything, but I think deep down he knows, like, if he doesn't get better, like, it might be a bust, and I think he is looking for the next. He doesn't just want a really mediocre guy who you can win with. I think he does want the guy that he thought he was drafted better than Mahomes and better than Watson, and he wants to try to get him up to that level. If not, I think he will eventually move on. I don't think Pace is a dum-dum. But yeah, I assume that if they're letting people go, that they have somebody in mind. Like, Pace is very calculated. Pace just doesn't. I mean, I'm sure he's talked to Nagy. He said, "What do you think? What do we got to do? We'll ride with you. We need you to try to make Mitch better. What do you think? What do we think? Here's what we think. Blah blah blah. What are the names you have?" And they're probably already negotiating, to be honest. But they could. And that's just my thinking. I'm assuming this is the guy who trades up for the guy that he has conviction on. He got Nagy. The people that he wants, he gets. And I don't think he's a guy who doesn't have a plan. Just being honest, I don't think that of this guy. He's the alpha dog here. I assume that the Bears are going to try to run more, take the pressure off of Mitch, be more like a Cousins type offense. Goff, like, I didn't think Goff was any good. And then all of a sudden they started running the ball, and it was an MVP candidate. I don't think he won MVP. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't just remember stats and stuff like that. But yeah. So yeah, finally, like, dude, Trubisky might not be a Hall of Famer. I'm not crowning him. Like, I root for him like heck. I don't know who he's going to be. I think you can win with him, but you have to make changes. You have to change. You have to either get a new offensive line and hope that Mitch gets way better, or to play to this offensive line strength and start running the ball, mix it up, play with balance, play with play action, and you can still do some of the things you like, Nagy, just not all of them all at once. And you gotta run the ball more. You gotta take the pressure off of them and create misdirection with a solid run game. That's what, RPOs. Well, you gotta run sometimes, or it's just a PO. Like, think about it. Finally, the last all the looking at Nagy that I've been doing, and we've been watching Nagy. But dude, he it looks like he's had a bad day. He looks like he had a really rough day. Yet very defiant to this press. I don't think he wants to take all of the blame for this. I think he has this ain't all my fault. I'm going to answer questions, and I'm going to challenge these reporters today. And, man, what a day. Going to be a long off season. A lot of changes happening. Hopefully it's for the better. But I'm Robert at Shy Bears Plus. If you like the video, hit the like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I might not agree with you, but I appreciate what you think. Sometimes, if you're a hater, I'll just say, hey, thanks for the comment. It's all good, man. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, subscribe here, hit the like, all that good stuff. I'm Robert at Shy Bears Plus. I'll see you next video, and always bear down.